guys, welcome to Muscle Vodka Lounge, where we talk about everything from health and fitness and everything in between. I'm your host, Grace Gillespie, and today is a very special episode. We are going to be doing the first of multiple episodes of a mini-series for mental motivation and mental preparation, which I personally believe is one of the most important things in life. Before anything you do to reach any goal, to overcome any obstacle, is mental preparation. So don't make fun of me. I have some notes here just because I want to cover everything and I don't want to forget everything or anything. So are you guys ready? In order, so I believe basically there is no excuse. So this is one of the main things for mental preparation. Like, you can always make an excuse not to go to the gym. You can always make an excuse not to go work out, not to go do something else, but you can't make an excuse not to have mental preparation. So you can do it while you're right before you go to bed at night. You can do it while you're working out. You can do it while you're working at your desk. You can do it any time of day, all day long. You can always prep your mind for something positive. And that's the main key there, something positive. So basically, for prepping your mind, you can do it anywhere, anytime. Positive thinking will always, 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 always lead you down the ultimate path to your goal. Basically, so it's like a flat tire. If you have a flat tire, you're not going to be able to get anywhere until you fix it. So your mind is kind of like that. When you set your mind up and when you set yourself up for success, you're going to fix that flat tire and you can get to the place where you want to go because you're mentally prepared and you're physically prepared to actually get there. Does that make sense? So just like, like in every sport, athletes, they're always mentally prepping before the game. When I was in high school cheerleading, we always had pep rallies and stuff like that, just because you want to mentally prepare yourself before something and get all excited about it and can't wait to get to the game, and you're going to go give it your all. And that's everything in life. You want to always mentally prep for everything you do. I do. When I wake up every morning, I always like to start with something positive. I listen to everybody from like Joel Osteen to Tony Robbins to everybody in between. I love waking up while I'm getting ready for work and I listen to something positive. You always want to start your day off with something positive, in my opinion. It always works for me because it starts your day off right and it starts it off on a good foot. So, and that's like a big thing too. You always want to control your mind. You don't want it to control you. Here's two funny stories I have real quick. So you want to talk about crazy mental motivation or crazy like what your mind can really do. So when I was little, I had this like horrible fear of chickenpox for some reason. I have no clue why. I never heard of any bad stories from chickenpox or anything. But my mom, she was always like, honey, it's not a bad thing. Every child gets chickenpox. It's okay. And I just remember having this horrible, horrible fear, and I would just start screaming and crying anytime I thought of getting chickenpox. Well, I was 10 years old when I finally got them, and my mother actually knew what a fear I had of them. She had the doctor tell me, oh my gosh, you are so lucky. You got the kind of chickenpox that don't itch. And I'm like, are you serious? And I was so excited because this doctor put in my mind that I had the chickenpox that don't itch, so I wasn't gonna itch. And the craziest thing about that is I never itched once my chickenpox. I had them, how long you have chickenpox for, and I never itched once because my mind told me these don't itch. It's crazy how strong and mentally prepared our mind is when we really, really want it to be. And number two, this really quick story too. So when I first started competing in fitness competitions, I was like, when you're not used to it in your first competition, it's such discipline and it's such motivation not to go to your like go-to foods, your fun foods, your celebratory foods, the candies, cakes, that we call bad carbs and that stuff like that. So I'm like, I was younger, it was one of my first shows, and I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I knew how strong my mind is because I've gotten my mind through so many crazy different circumstances and different obstacles that I overcame because of like how strong my mind is and how much you can make your mind work for you. So I told myself, anytime I even think about sugary stuff, like any kind of cake or cookies or fun stuff like that, in my head I said I will automatically think of, not for lack of better terms, throwing up. I will think of it as something really bad that it makes me grossed out and I get really, ooh, I don't want to have it at all. So I mentally sat there and I prepped my mind to think that every time I thought about eating a cookie or cake or candy like that. And you are not gonna believe this, but it totally worked. I cannot believe it, and I know you guys aren't believing me right now, but literally for my whole competition, I didn't crave it at all. I didn't crave anything, and that actually put me on the path to a lifetime of like, I literally, and I can honestly say this, and anyone that knows me knows this is true, I have not had a candy bar in literally over 15 years. Because when your body isn't used to something, you don't crave it, you don't need it. And you know if you do eat it or you do start doing it, you're gonna start feeling yucky inside, and you know, your stomach starts getting nauseous just because you're not used to it. I know, for example, whenever I eat sodium, because I typically don't normally eat sodium, when I do, you know, I swell up and everything. So I know my body's just not used to it. It's not that it's something for everybody, but I just know that put me on this healthy lifestyle of just consistency. And I'm not saying it's not okay to cheat here and there, you know, like I have at least one cheat meal a week and I love it. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like sugary things and things like that, I mentally prepped my mind for that, and I went the whole 9 yards. You can too. So yeah, that was, those two instances were like basically, you know, one when I was 10 and probably one when I was like in my early 20s, you know, that it's just like, wow, I can't believe how crazy it is that your mind can really work for you. And if you make it work for you, it will work. I love saying that because it is so true. Let's see, what else do I want to cover real quick for this first one? And this is like just literally like one of my biggest sayings too. I always say, basically, whether you think you can or think you can, you're right. Because if you think you can't do it, you're right. You won't be able to do it because you've already psyched yourself out. But if you think you can, you will do it. Trust me, you can. So that is the end of our little tidbit for the first episode of our mini-series of mental preparation. So again, Muscle Vodka Lounge, whenever you're ready for that post-workout, don't forget a muscle vodka.